how can I get NaaM? In order to get NaaM, we first need to know what is NaaM. If our understanding of NaaM shall be in accordance with Gurbani, only then we can get NaaM in accordance with Gurbani. According to Gurbani, NaaM is presence of God in the creation. Like, Vid Naave Nahi Ko Thao. Further, according to Gurbani, NaaM and Naav mean the same. Like, Manmukh Naam na janni, Vin Naave Pat jaye. Manmukh Naam na janni, Vin Naave Pat jaye. Wherein not knowing NaaM is as good as not knowing Naav. Thus, NaaM and Naav mean the same according to Gurbani. Since Naav means presence of God, therefore NaaM too means presence of God. Now we know what is NaaM according to Gurbani. Therefore, we can know how to get NaaM according to Gurbani. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Since according to Gurbani, NaaM is presence of God, thus one needs to understand, know or realize the presence of God. In order to understand, know or realize the presence of God, one needs to find out that how to understand, know or realize the presence of God. Let's study the messages of Gurbani to understand that NaaM can be acquired by focusing on Guru's teachings, that is GurmatE, by being GurmukhE. The Guru's teachings in Gurbani is called GurmatE. Focusing on Gurbani is termed as GurmukhE. And one who does so is a Gurmukh. That's the difference between Gurmukh and GurmukhE. Similarly, the concept of Guru is termed as GurmatE, whereas doing according to GurmatE is termed as GurmatE. Gurbani says, GurmatE paya naam tumhara. GurmatE paya naam tumhara. That's it. Right pronunciation makes it so simple to understand. Further, NaaM is not mine, hamara. NaaM is yours, tumhara. Therefore, we have to get NaaM. We can't create NaaM. Getting NaaM by getting knowledge, that is GurmatE. GurmatE paya also means knowing NaaM, understanding NaaM or realizing NaaM. Further, Gurbani also guides us how to get NaaM. One can get NaaM by GurmatE, that is through understanding Guru's teachings. GurmatE paya naam tumhara. There's a reference of Gurbani, now padhiye, now bujhiye, GurmatE vichara. In Gurbani, the entire nature is referred to as now. Jeta kita, teta now. To understand the nature is now padhiye. To realize the nature is now bujhiye. Since GurmatE is in fact Guru's teachings, thus GurmatE has to be studied. GurmatE has to be understood. GurmatE has to be realized. So this is what it truly means when the message of Gurbani is now padhiye, now bujhiye, GurmatE vichara. Gurbani says, GurmatE, NaaM मेरा प्राण सखाई, हर कीरत हमरी रहरास. This message of Gurbani means that the NaaM realized by understanding GurmatE, that is GurmatE, is the support of my spiritual life. In this message of Gurbani, how does life and death, that is Pran, come into picture? In the spiritual world, doing wrong deeds, usage of wrong speech, and even being wrong at the thought level, referred to as man bachkram, is equivalent to one's spiritual death. With the realization of NaaM, that is presence of God around me, I would remain more cautious about worldly pitfalls at all levels. Thus, NaaM is a big support for the continuity of my spiritual life. Thus, NaaM that I have realized by GurmatE ensures my spiritual well-being. GurmatE, NaaM mera pran sakhai. We have seen that we can get NaaM by GurmatE. Further, according to Gurbani, one who focuses on GurmatE is GurmukhE. Being GurmukhE is termed in Gurbani as GurmukhE. Let's understand those messages of Gurbani too that reveal that one can get NaaM by GurmukhE. GurmukhE, NaaM japo man mere. The meaning of japo in Gurbani is also to know, to understand or to realize. Like, aisa gyan japo man mere, wherein gyan is knowledge that can only be known, understood or realized. Focusing on the Guru's teachings, that is by GurmukhE, one can realize NaaM, that is presence of God. Focusing on teachings is feasible only in thoughts. That's why the message of Gurbani herein addresses the thoughts, man mere. Thus, there is addressal to one's thoughts, man mere, to realize the presence of God, that is NaaM japo, by focusing on Guru's teachings, that is GurmukhE. GurmukhE, NaaM japo man mere. There is a reference of Gurbani, GurmukhE, NaaM tyaya bujya vichara. In this message of Gurbani, there is greater clarification of GurmukhE. It has been amply made clear that GurmukhE is related to realization, and that too in thoughts, that is bujya vichara. Accordingly, in Gurbani, realizing presence of God, that is NaaM, in one's deep thoughts is tyaya. GurmukhE, NaaM tyaya bujya vichara. Since getting NaaM is accomplished by realization of God's presence in thoughts, thus method of getting NaaM also clarifies that NaaM of Gurbani is presence of God. There is a reference of Gurbani, GurmukhE, NaaM salaiye, home nivri pahe. If one is under an impression that there is no God and I am on my own, then such a person, according to Gurbani, is under the influence of home. And when one finally realizes the falsehood of such an impression, then one burns in deep frustration. On the other hand, when one focuses on Guru's teachings, that is GurmukhE, then this falsehood gets demolished and one also realizes the presence of God. That is GurmukhE, NaaM salaiye, home nivri pahe. There is a reference of Gurbani, तीरथ नावण जाओ, तीरथ नाम है, तीरथ शब्द विचार अंतरे ज्ञान है. People physically travel to perform pilgrimage. However, according to Gurbani, pilgrimage should rather be of one's thoughts. Tirath sabad bichar. Therefore, instead of visiting a place, contemplating on Guru Sahib's knowledge is the actual pilgrimage. Tirath sabad bichar. This leads to one's enlightenment within. Antre gyan hai. Thus, bathing has to be of one's thoughts. That is, one's thoughts perform the pilgrimage. Tirath naaman jao. The real pilgrimage is that of realization of presence of God. That is, Tirath naam hai. This message of Gurbani clarifies that NaaM is related to knowledge that has to be realized in one's thought process. That is sabad bichar. Tirath naaman jao, tirath naam hai. Tirath sabad bichar, antre gyan hai. Thus, according to Gurbani, to get NaaM, one needs to realize the presence of God, that is NaaM. By being GurmukhE, that is, by focusing on Guru's knowledge, and through GurmatE, that is GurmatE, one can realize NaaM. This, according to Gurbani, is the way to get NaaM. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.